Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutarashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutarashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashutarashata Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Maha-bhagavat Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadasa Gunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Sarva Avishta Vridhata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, everybody. Wait, let's see if there's anybody here. Yes, 2 devotees are there. Can't see who you are yet though. But alright. So we're continuing on. Today we are beginning the last chapter of Ādi-khaṇḍa. It'll take us 4 days to read. So let's do a kirtan. And you're gonna have to forgive me, I'm very tired today. I'm probably gonna have to stand up the whole time. I only slept 3 hours last night. What's a nice Mahaprabhu kirtan to sing? Oops, I'm not sharing my screen. 1 second. Let's sing this. We haven't sung this yet. I mean, it's not really for Mahaprabhu so much. But anyways, it's a nice kirtan. Dhanamor Nityananda Patimor Gaurachandra. Okay. So Nityananda Prabhu is my wealth. What happened? Nityananda Prabhu is my wealth. Shri Gaurachandra is my master, and the youthful divine couple of Raj are my very life. Advaita Acharya is my strength, Gadadhar Pandit is my family, and Narahari Sarkar is my joy. This is by Śrī Das Thakur. My gleeful bath is in the dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. My satiation is in the name of the Vaishnavas. And I have concluded that in order to savor Bhakti Ras, the best medium is Śrīmad Bhagavatam. My mind has firm faith in the remnants of the Vaishnavas and delights in the names of the Vaishnavas. My mind is fully encircled by the boundary of Vrindavan. Thus speaks the lowly Narottam Das. All right. Dhana mora nityananda pati mor kora chandra. Dhana mor nityananda pati mora gora chandra. Prana mor Jugala Kishore Advaita Acharya Bol Gadadhara Morakula Narahari Vilasai More Vaishnaver Padotuli Tahe Mora Snana Keli Atarpan Mor Vaishnavera Nam Vicharya Koriya Mane Bhakti Rasa Yashvadane Madhyastha Śrī Bhāgavata Purāṇ. O Vaishnavera Uchishta Tahe Mora Manonishta Vaishnavere Namete Ullasa Vrindavane Chotara Tahe Mor Mano Ghera Kohe Dina Dasat Anarottama Das Kohe Dina Narottama Das. All right. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Shri Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Champak Mataji, and Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. And let's see, on YouTube. And I see there's one person watching on YouTube or Facebook, but I don't see a name because there's no comment. So, pranam to whoever you are. Also, Dandavat pranams Shubhananda Prabhu, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay, so, yeah, I'm really sorry guys, I only slept 3 hours last night, and so I'm gonna have to be standing up and walking around and doing all that, because doing the kirtan time it was pretty rough. Alright, so I'll do the Mangala Charan and then begin our reading. Yeah, I'm a little spacey right now. And I didn't sleep during the day. So I didn't sleep at night and not during the day, so that's why I'm like really out of it. Ajnanatirmirandasya jnananjana shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadato Sankirtanaikkapitaro Kamalayataksho Vishvambharo Dvijavaro Yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha Avatirno Sakarunyo Parichinno Sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nitya Nando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Sajayati Vishuddha Vikrama Kanakabha Kamalaya Tekshana Varajanu Vilambi Sharbhujo Bahudha Bhakti Rasa Bhinartaka Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityang Tasya Sarva Priyana Adi Śrī Caitanya Priya Goshtir Charane Ashisha Prakare Mor Danda Paraname Tabe Bando Shri Krishna Chaitanya Maheshwar Navadvipe Avatar Nama Vishwambhar Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptastakama Dittaranga Madhe Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore mura loko shuno Chaitanya mangal Chaitanya mahima jate jani beshaka Krishna lila bhagavate kohe ved vyas Chaitanya lila vyas Vrindavana das koilo Chaitanya mangal Jahan rashavane nashe sarvaya mangal Chaitanya nitar jate jani mahima Jate jani Krishna bhakti siddhanter sima Bhagavate jata bhakti siddhanter sar Likhiya chen iha jani koriya udhar Chaitanya mangal Chaitanya mangal shune jadi pashandi javan Sheho maha vaishnava hoy tatakhan Manushe rachite nare aiche granta dhanya Vrindavana dasa mukhe bhakta Śrī Caitanya Vrindavana dasa pade koti namaskar Aiche granta korite ho tarila sangsar Narayani Chaitanyer uchishta bhajan Tar garbe janmila Śrī dasa Vrindavan तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन, जाहर श्रवण शुद्ध कोइलो त्रिभुवन, सहज विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार, वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृते धार, वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet, and when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, the Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hari Bo Sudevi Didi. And whoever else that is watching. Okay. What am I doing? Sorry guys, I'm really spacey as I mentioned. Okay, opening up the rest of Ādi-khaṇḍa. We're reading now. Today's the 100th day of reading daily, and day 67 of, is it 67 or no? 66, day 66 of reading Caitanya-bhāgavata. We're 100 days into Purushottam and Chaturmasya. I don't have it here. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, so chapter 17, and then we're starting the last chapter of Ādi-khaṇḍa now. Should we do a recap of Haridas Thakur? Or like Kishore, would you like to do a little recap of Haridas Thakur? Or should we just start reading?
Up to you.
I'm fine either way.
I can do a short recap. So basically, we heard the pastimes of Srila Haridas Thakur. Vrindavan Das Thakur described how in the beginning how all the atheists were, and how they opposed the Sankirtan movement, and how the Vaishnavas were unhappy. But when they saw Haridas Thakur came, they became very happy because Haridas Thakur was always chanting Harinam. Then Vrindavan Das Thakur described how the Yavanas got Haridas Thakur, and they brought him to the king and the Qazi. And they told the king and the Qazi that although Haridas Thakur is born in a Muslim family, he is worshipping the Hindus' god, and he's chanting his holy name. And then so they asked Haridas Thakur why he was doing that, and then Haridas Thakur gave wonderful explanation, explaining that God is one and so many things. And then all the Yavanas became satisfied, right? But the king asked the Qazi, "But what will you do now?" And the Qazi said he should be beaten in 22 marketplaces. If we allow him to go free, it'll give a bad impression to everyone else, so-called bad impression. And so then Haridas Thakur was told, "What will you do now, Haridas Thakur?" And Haridas Thakur said that my limbs may be cut into multiple pieces, but I'll never give up the chanting of Harinam. And so then Haridas Thakur was brought to the prison, and all the prisoners there, and they heard, "Oh, Haridas Thakur is coming. Haridas Thakur is such a great Mahatma, such a great sadhu, such a great saint." And so Haridas Thakur, when he came there, he smiled at them and blessed them, saying, "May you stay here." And they became morose, thinking, What is this? Haridas Thakur is blessing us to stay in this jail cell? And Haridas Thakur said, No, I never give bad blessings. What I'm saying is that you stay here, avoiding sense gratification and chanting Harinam. And then they understood. And then Haridas Thakur was then beaten in 22 marketplaces. And all the while he was chanting Harinam. He was chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And he totally in bliss, not being affected by anything. and all the sadhus, they hated it. They were cursing. They were cursing at these two people who were beating. They cursed the king and the Qazi that they will be destroyed. And others, they came before the two people and said, "We will give you money if you stop beating Haridas Thakur so severely." But they were very cruel. They continued beating Haridas Thakur. And then after the 22 marketplaces aces were done, they thought, "Oh my God, he's still not dead. And he must be a great Mahapir, a great saintly personality." And so they offered obeisances to Haridas Thakur, and they told Haridas Thakur that, "Please, if you don't leave, the king and the Qazi will kill us." And so Haridas Thakur chanted Harinam and then went into trance. And then Haridas Thakur's body was brought to the Ganga, because the Yavanas didn't want to give a burial, because they said and that if he has a burial, then he'll attain a higher destination. So let's throw him into the Ganga. And so they threw him into the Ganga, and Haridas Thakur floated on the other part to the other side of the Ganga, of Fulia. And then they found him there. The Yavanas found him there, and they said, "Look, Haridas Thakur is still alive." And so everyone else came and they gave respects to Haridas Thakur, and they honored Haridas Thakur. And the king also came before Haridas Thakur and offered obeisances and said, "Now I realize that you truly are a great saint, self-realized saint. There are so many yogis, so many babas, almost that they say all these things, but you are a real saint.
A real Mahapir, right?
A real Mahapir. And you have my permission to wander throughout the kingdom." As for the Qazi died. I don't remember the details, but he died. And it was Vrindavan Das Thakur described how Haridas Thakur was doing bhajan in a cave, fully absorbed in Harinam. But there was one snake in there, one vicious, poisonous snake in the cave. And when the Vaishnavas would come and visit Haridas Thakur, they couldn't tolerate the fumes. And they told her, and they brought some snake experts. That came over, like, "What is going on? Where are these fumes coming from?" And they smelled the fumes, and then they told Haridas Thakur, "Oh, Haridas Thakur, there's a snake in here. There's a snake in this cave. It's very, very poisonous snake. You should leave this place." And Haridas Thakur said, "Really? I didn't even notice." "Well, since you're all so concerned, I'll leave the cave, no problem." And when the snake heard that, the snake came out. The snake thought, "Wait, Haridas Thakur is leaving the cave? I spent my time in this cave just so I could hear Haridas Thakur's chanting. Well, all right, if Haridas Thakur is leaving, I will also leave." And the snake came out. It was very beautiful color and very beautiful colors. It had a jewel, if I remember correctly, it had a jewel hole in its head, and it was blue, white, and yellow snake, and left. And then I think the last pastime was the Brahmin, the so-called Brahmin, the envious Brahmin, challenging Haridas Thakur. "Oh, Haridas Thakur, you're always chanting the holy name so loudly. But what is this? Where have the scriptures said to chant the holy name loudly?" And Haridas Thakur said, "The scriptures never condemn loud chanting. In fact, they support it. It's been stated in the Shastra and Śrīmad Bhagavatam in so many places that if you chant Harinam loudly, you get 100,000, 100 benefit more, 1,000 benefits more." And Haridas Thakur said that if you chant Harinam loudly, then all the living conditioned entities, will be benefited. That if you chant Harinam silently, only you will be delivered. But if you chant Harinam loudly, then the others will be delivered. And the envious Brahmin did not like that, and he said, "Oh, see, there are so many philosophers. There are 6 philosophies, that of Kapila, Jaimini, Patanjali, and others. And now we see Haridas Thakur has come up with the 7th philosophy. The 7th philosophy, Haridas Thakur ki jai." And the guys and the envious Brahmin said that if what you say is not true, If you are speaking a lie, Haridas Thakur, I will cut your nose off and you will rot. And Haridas Thakur, he just smiled and chanted Harinam, and he left that place. And what ended up happening to that sinful, envious Brahmin, so-called Brahmin, is that actually happened to him. His nose fell off and he rotted. And I forget how Vrindavan Das Thakur concluded that pastime. Jai Hari Das Thakur.
I think it ends with Haridas Thakur then leaving and going to Navadvip, right? And then meeting with all the devotees.
Oh yeah. Then Haridas Thakur goes to Navadvip, and all the Vaishnavas and all the genuine Brahmins, they embrace Haridas Thakur. All the real Vaishnava Brahmins, they embrace Haridas Thakur. They became so happy. Oh, a Vaishnava has come. Haridas Thakur has come. They become so happy. The Smarta community, the envious Brahmin community, were not very happy that Haridas Thakur came, but the Vaishnavas were ecstatic.
That was a great recap. That was really nice. Thank you. And perfect, like very good timing also. Great. All right. Jai Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. So now we will begin the last chapter of Ādi-khaṇḍa, chapter 17, the Lord's travel to Gayā. All right, so this is the Kathasar, the synopsis, chapter synopsis by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. I should actually get that confirmed. I think I remember Shiva saying that one time. And he was working on this book about Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, so but I should just double check. Anyhow, this chapter describes Śrī Gaurasundar's visit to Gayā via Mandara and Punpun, his meeting with Ishwar Puri at Gayā, his bestowing mercy on Ishwar Puri on the pretext of accepting initiation, his manifestation of himself, finally he manifests himself, his attempts to go to Mathura while being maddened in separation from Krishna, his return home to Navadvip Mayapur after hearing a voice from the sky on the way, and the conclusion of the Ādi-khaṇḍa. We'll be reading this. This chapter is 18,908 words, so like 19,000 words pretty much, and we read around 4,000 to 5,000 words a day, and so that means we'll finish this in like 4 days. I'm not going to read the full Kathasar, I'll just read up to where we're reading up today. During the time when Śrī Gaurasundar was enjoying his pastimes in Navadvip as the crest jewel of teachers, the philosophies of the atheists and the smartas were being quickly propagated. Even hearing the name of Bhakti Yoga was rare. The sinful people went on unnecessarily criticizing the Vaishnavas. Considering that the proper time had arrived to manifest himself, Śrī Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of going to Gayā for performing worldly fruitive rituals in order to refute the atheistic and smarta philosophies, as well as to bewilder averse persons. In order to bewilder the atheists, the Lord displayed the pastime of being attacked with fever on his way to Gayā. Thereafter, to exhibit his affection towards his servants and the potency of water that has washed the feet of qualified brahmanas, he drank water that had washed the feet of a brahmana and ended his pastime of having a fever. So that's what we'll be reading about today. We'll read the rest in the following days of that. Okay. Jaya Jaya Gaura. Oh, and I just yesterday got a Wi-Fi set up where I'm staying here now. So let me know if the internet's like really good. Yeah. Okay. Jaya Jaya Śrī Gaurasundara Maheshwar. Jaya Nityananda Priya Nitya Kaleva. All glories to the Supreme Lord Śrī Gaurasundar. All glories to Śrī Nityananda's beloved Lord, who possesses an eternal body. Hare Krishna Govinda Saha. Jaya Jaya Sarva Vaishnavir Dhana Pran Kripa Drishte Koro Prabhu Sarva Jive Tran. All glories to the Lord, who is the life and wealth of all the Vaishnavas. O Lord, please deliver the living entities by your merciful glance. Ādi-khaṇḍa katha bhai, shuno savadhane, Śrī Sundara Gayā chalila jemone. O brothers, listen carefully to the topics of Ādi-khaṇḍa, which describe the Lord's journey to Gayā. He namate navadvipe Śrī Vaikuṇṭha-nath, Adhyapaka Shiromani Rupe Korevas. In this way, the Lord of Vaikuṇṭha resided at Navadvip as the crest jewel of teachers. Chaturdike Pashanda Barae Gurutar, Bhakti Yoga Nama Hoilo Shunite Dushkar, Mithyarase Dekhiyati Loker Adhar, Bhakta Sava Dukkha Boro Bhavin Antar. As the number of atheists increased in Navadvip, it became difficult to even hear the mention of bhakti, of devotional service. The devotees were all distressed to see that people were simply attached to illusory pleasures. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. At that time, the devotees of Krishna situated in pure goodness were extremely rare in the world. Since, due to aversion to Krishna, many persons were engaged in deceitful, envious, sinful, abominable activities, they were unable to understand the glories of pure devotional service, and they considered their imaginary processes based on their own respective tastes as topmost. Therefore, they took shelter of non-devotional paths and became averse to devotional service. Since ordinary foolish people were covered by sense gratification, fruit of activities, mental speculation, mystic yoga, and austerities, they did not relish topics of pure devotional service in their polluted hearts. Therefore, they all became opposed to the propagation of devotional service to the Lord. Ordinary mundane people were extremely intoxicated by drinking the Vishaya Vishtaras, the stool-like mellows of material enjoyment. Seeing that they were averse to drinking the Sachid Ananda Krishna Ras, but instead they were just drinking the Vishaya Vishta Ras. So instead of drinking the eternally cognizant blissful mellows of Krishna consciousness and they were just busy collecting temporary anarthas devoid of nectar. So the devotees were always greatly distressed, and they desired such persons eternal benefit. Aside from the devotees, all the non-devotees simply spent their time uselessly envying each other. Seeing the pathetic condition of the godless people, only the devotees felt distress in their hearts and prayed to the Lord for such persons' eternal benefit. For a description of the situation at that particular time, one should refer to the purport of verse 308 of the previous chapter. Prabhu se avishta hoy achen adhyayane, Bhakta shab dukha pai dekhen apane. Although the Lord was absorbed in studying and teaching, he noted the devotees' distress. Niravadi Vaishnava savere dushta gane, Ninda kori vule taha shunen apane. He heard how the miscreants were constantly blaspheming the Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Sundar is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the cause of all causes. All living entities are his devotees and controlled subordinate servants. Therefore, on the pretext of pathetic sinful propensities, the lack of friendship, and the miserable condition of his servants resulting from one servant being envious of another servant, his compassion was aroused. The devotees are never envious of other living entities. Rather, the non-devotees are envious of the devotees. That is why Lord Sri Gaurasundar, who is affectionate to his devotees, continued to hear about the criticism and torture of the pure devotees by the godless non-devotees who had forgotten their constitutional position. In spite of hearing the blasphemy of his devotees, he had not yet manifested himself before the eyes of the public as the only protector and maintainer of the devotees. Chitte icha hoilo atma prakasha korite bhavilen age asi Gayā hoite icha moy Śrī Gaura Sundar Bhagavan Gayā bhumi dekhite hoilo ichatan. The Lord thus desired to manifest himself, but he thought he should first visit Gayā. After that, he'll manifest himself. The supremely independent Lord Gaurasundar desired to see the holy place of Gayā. Gaudiya Bhashya. The purport of the Lord's visit to Gayā is as follows. Sri Gaurasundar desired to visit Gayā in order to personally enact the pastime of accepting the dress of a devotee prior to exhibiting his opulence of being the only shelter of his devotees. One time, the city of Gayā was greatly disturbed by the Buddhists. The Buddhists started a powerful movement there for the purpose of destroying Ādi-khaṇḍa. In order to deliver those who follow Vedic principles from the attack of Buddhist revolutionaries, Gadadhar Vishnu placed his lotus feet on the head of Gayasura. The fruit of workers were engaged in torturing Yageshwar Vishnu in various ways. That is why the Lord manifested his incarnation of Buddha and exhibited the misuse of Ādi-khaṇḍa before the eyes of the public, thus refuting its false misconceptions. Later on, the so-called followers of Buddha forgot their constitutional duties of devotional service to Vishnu and accepted Buddha as separate from Vishnu, thereby increasing the darkness of godless philosophy that is opposed to the Vedas. Although the lotus feet of Vishnu were placed on the head of the Buddhist Acharya, who was polluted with misconceptions, aversion to pure devotional So even though his feet were placed on the head of the Buddhist Acharya, who was polluted with misconceptions, aversion to pure devotional service was found in the consideration process of those who rejected fruitive activities. Various desires for enjoying the imaginary fruits of material enjoyment replaced unalloyed devotional service to Vishnu in various smritis. Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of visiting Gayā in order to cheat and bewilder ordinary mundane people who are attached to fruitive activities and ignorant of the purport of the Vedas. Since the philosophy of Charvaka was very prominent at that time, Charvaka was the proponent of an atheistic philosophy, ancient proponent of atheism. What is it? He said that the goal of life is to eat. What is it? To eat lots of ghee or something like that? I can't remember. He has like a famous thing though. So since the philosophy of Charvaka was very prominent at that time, faith in the concept of renunciation was totally lost. Although the concept of renunciation was accepted by the Buddhists, the transcendental variegated pastimes of the Supreme Lord, who is full in 6 opulences, did not find a place in their understanding. Subduing such Buddhist philosophy, which is opposed to the Vedas, Lord Gadadhar Vishnu established at Gayā his supreme lotus feet, which are full of transcendental variegatedness. According to the mantra from Rig Veda, Tredha Nidhate Padam, I placed 3 steps. Sri Vamandev is the predominating deity of Gayā Dham. By worshipping these lotus feet, which are the source of transcendental pastimes, the impersonal conception of the Lord is defeated. Verse 11. Shastra Vidhi Mata Shraddha, sorry, Shastra Vidhi Mata Shraddha Karmadi Koriya Jatra Kori Cholila Aneka Shishya Loya. After performing the Shraddha ceremony for his father, according to scriptural injunctions, the Lord departed for Gayā with many of his students. Jananir Agyaloy Mahaharsha Mane Cholilen Mahaprabhu Gayā Darashane. The Lord first took permission from Mother Shachi and then happily left to see Gayā. Sarvadesha Grama Kori Punya Tirtamoy Shri Charana Hoilo Gaya Dekite Vi. As the Lord passed through the various towns and villages on the way to Gayā, they were all turned into holy places by the touch of his lotus feet. Gaudiya Bhashya. The second line of this verse indicates that the Lord's lotus feet came to Gayā. In other words, Lord Sri Gaurasundar, whose sanctified feet are the source of all holy places, came here in order to purify the holy place of Gayā. In the Lord's journey to Gayā, all those villages and places that were marked by his lotus feet, which purify the entire universe, became famous as the most sanctified holy places. Dharma Katha Vako Vakya Parihasa Rase Mandare Aila Prabhu Kote Ko Divase. The Lord and his students conversed, joked, and discussed various religious topics, and after a few days they arrived at Mandara Hill. Dekhiya Mandare Madhusudan Tathai Pramilen Shakala Parvata Swalilai. The Lord first saw the deity of Madhusudan at the top of the hill, and then he wandered about the hill according to his desire. Gaudiya Bhashya. The words Mandare Madhusudan are explained as follows. From Kolkata on the EBR or EIR railway, one should come to Bhagalpur station, and from there take the branch railway line up to Mandara Hill station. Mandara Hill is situated about 3 kilometers from the station. The peak of Mandara Hill is 3 kilometers from the foot of the hill. It's, 3 kilometers from the foot of the hill. That's really tall. On the top of the hill, there are 2 temples. Of the 2, the deity of Madhusudan was worshipped long ago in the bigger temple. It is heard that both temples are presently under the control of the Jains. Due to fear of the dacoit Kala Pahar, the deity of Madhusudan was shifted to the village of Vongshi, which is situated 3 kilometers from Mandara Hill and 400 cubits from Mandara station. He's situated there where he is where he's presently being worshipped. By the initiative of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata of Sridham Mayapur, the site of ancient Navadvip and birthplace of Sri Gaur, we will soon establish a temple of Sri Chaitanya's lotus feet at Mandara Hill. Nice. E mata kota pata asite asite artina jara prakashilen tehete. While traveling like this, one day the Lord manifested a fever. Jor prakashilen. Gaudiya Bhashya. Although the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Gaurasundar, is eternally perfect and possesses a Satchid Ananda body, in order to deceive and bewilder the conception and intelligence of the materialists who are illusioned by Maya, he performs the drama of becoming afflicted with a fever, just as the ordinary mundane body of a living entity who is forced to accept the fruits of his karma becomes afflicted with fever. Prakrita loker pray vaikunta ishwar loka shiksha dekhaite dhorilen jwar. In order to instruct people, the Lord of Vaikuntha, displayed a fever-like. In order to instruct people, the Lord of Vaikuntha displayed a fever like an ordinary person. Gaudiya Bhashya. The Satchid Ananda body of Vishnu, who is the controller of Maya, is never subjected to transformations like happiness and distress as experienced by ordinary mortal beings. One who will consider the fully Satchid Ananda Vigraha of Śrī Caitanya-dev as equal to that of an ordinary living entity will certainly sink in the mire of grave offenses. Fearing that living entities who are forced to accept the fruits of their material activities, who are qualified for being punished by Yamaraj, and who are subjected to bewilderment and death, would consider their mundane bodies spiritual, and that Prakrit Sahajias would consider themselves transcendentally liberated Vaishnavas, the Lord, in order to prohibit this and instruct the people, enacted the pastime of suffering from fever, as generally experienced by godless living entities. In order that ignorant persons bewildered by Maya would become more illusioned by seeing these pastimes of Śrī Gaurasundar, and to exhibit the insignificance of their bewildered intelligence, Gaurasundar voluntarily accepted the affliction of fever. Madhyapate jor prakashilen ishware, shishyagan hoilen chintito antare. When the Lord manifested his fever halfway to Gayā, the hearts of his students were filled with anxiety. Pate rahi korilen bahu pratikar, tatapi na chare jor heno ichatar. They tried to cure him with various remedies, but by the desire of the Lord, his fever did not subside. Tabe Prabhu vyavastila oshad apane, sarva dukha khande vipra pado dakapane. Then the Lord prescribed his own medicine. He said, "If I drink the water that has washed the feet of a Brahmana, my suffering will be relieved." Gaudiya Bhashya. When, in spite of using various medicines, the Lord's fever did not subside, then in order to teach people the topmost position of Brahmanas who were conversant with the science of Vishnu, the Jagat Guru Lord, of his own will, exhibited the pastime of accepting the remedy of water that had washed the feet of a Brahmana. By this act, the Lord, on one hand, exhibited the pastime of creating illusion for mortal beings who are entangled in the fruits of karma and who are eligible for the punishment of Yamaraj. And on the other hand, he protected the prestige of those topmost Brahmanas who know the science of Vishnu. Who know the science of Vishnu. I lost my place. Okay. By this act, the Lord on one hand exhibited the pastime of creating illusion for mortal beings who are entangled in the fruits of karma, and he protected the prestige of those topmost Brahmanas who know the science of Vishnu. Just as in the pastimes of Narayana, the Lord increased the glories of his devotees by accepting the mark of Brigu's foot on his own chest, in the pastimes of Gaur, he established the prestige of bodies that are related to him. Without understanding this inconceivable confidential pastime of the Lord, the community of foolish Prakrit Sahajias often become covered by conceptions of caste consciousness, and they end up drinking ordinary water that has washed the feet of demoniac Brahmanas. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7.11.35, it is stated, Yasya ya lakshanam proktam pungsa varna abhivyanjakam taranyatrapi drishyeta tattenaiva vinirtishet. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, a Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. In order to eternally benefit those who transgress this injunction and who consider the Vaishnavas, who are the spiritual masters of all Brahmanas, as Shudras, those who consider non-Vaishnavas as Brahmanas, and those who mistakenly accept the qualities of Shudras as those of Vaishnavas. So, in order to benefit these kinds of people, the Lord enacted the pastime of drinking the water that had washed the feet of a devotee Brahman. The Brahmanas who are devoted to Achyuta are alone able to serve Lord Achyuta, while sinful Shudras who are covered by the mode of ignorance are always devoid of the sacred thread due to the predominance of ignorance, and therefore they are averse to the service of the Lord. A Brahmana who knows the science of Brahman neither considers his body as his self, nor engages in mental speculation. His intelligence is not bewildered by limited, temporary, enjoyable material objects. Since his consciousness is fully spiritualized, he should give up material conceptions and he should cultivate Krishna consciousness. Yes, he should give up material conceptions and he should cultivate Krishna consciousness while understanding his relationship with the Lord. The word Brahmana does not refer to kripanas or misers. The Dharma Shastra writer Atri has stated, Brahma tattvam na janati Brahma sutrena garavita tenaiva sachapapena viprapashur udahrita. One who proudly advertises himself as a sanctified Brahmana, but who is ignorant of the absolute truth. One who proudly advertises himself as a sanctified Brahma is ignorant of the absolute truth. The reason for this is because of the sin called Pashu Vipra. I don't know. Yeah, it's Pashu Vipra. Therefore, by drinking the water that has washed the feet of such a Pashu Vipra, ordinary, foolish, bewildered living entities will immediately become Pashus, or animals. Okay. Viprapado takera mahima bhujaite pan korilen prabhu apane shakshate. The Lord then drank the water that had washed the feet of the Brahmanas in order to reveal its glories, the glories of this water. Viprapado daka pana koriya ishwar shekhane shushta hoila ar nahi jwar. Suba? As soon as the Lord drank that water, his fever subsided and he felt relief. Jai. Vipra padodaka ki jai. Vaishnavera padodaka. Samanahi e sava. Jate hoy vanchita puran. Maybe we can sing at that at the end. Vaishnavera padodaka samanahi e sava. The water from tirthas. Anyways, we'll read at the end. Ishvara je kore vipra padodaka pan etana swabhava veda purana praman. According to the Vedas and Puranas, it is the nature of the Supreme Lord to drink the water that has washed the feet of a Brahmana. Gaudiya Bhashya. Wow, it's a long commentary. Okay, sorry. Yes, it's the nature of the Supreme Lord to drink the water that has washed the feet of a Brahmana. Gaudiya Bhashya. One can never progress on the path of spiritual life by disregarding and deviating from the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Ordinary mundane people who are attached to fruitive activities are unable to understand the higher purpose of Varnashram. One should fully respect those Brahmanas who are situated on the highest platform. So one should fully respect those Brahmins who are situated on the highest platform from the material point of view. Śrī Caitanya neither transgressed the ordinary social customs of the time, nor totally disregarded the principles of Karma-khaṇḍa on the pretext of offering oblations to his forefathers. One should not misunderstand by this that Śrī Caitanya accepted the path of Karma-khaṇḍa as the path of spiritual life. Fearing that people may foolishly misunderstand the purport of the scriptures and introduce the process of Karma-khaṇḍa as a spiritual path, fearing this, the Jagat Guru Lord enacted the pastimes of drinking water that had washed the feet of a Brahmana and offering oblations to his forefathers at Gayā, and thereafter he enacted the pastime of accepting spiritual Vaishnava initiation. In the ideal God-conscious moral character of Śrī Gaurasundar, one can find enactment of the following injunction mentioned in Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11:29. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata mat kata shavanadova shraddha yavan najayate. As long as one is not satisfied by the fruit of activity, and as long as he has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. Then such a person is considered guided by the pure spiritual transcendental consideration mentioned in the Narad Pancharatra as follows. Lokiki vaidiki vapi ya kriya kriyate mune hari sevanukulaiva shekarya bhaktimuchyata. One should perform only those activities, either worldly or prescribed by Vedic rules and regulations, which are favorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. When a living entity thinks that obtaining physical or mental happiness is the goal of life, then the waves of temporary mundane thoughts never leave him. And in the course of time, his propensity for pious and impious activities based on Varnashram principles gradually transforms into the propensity for prohibited, sinful activities. As soon as the living entity develops faith in topics related to the Lord, he realizes in his service-inclined heart that taking unalloyed shelter at the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya is the only criteria for obtaining supreme eternal auspiciousness. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22, chapter 22, verse 93, it is stated, Eto shavachari ar varnashrama dharma akinchana hoyaloy krishnaika sharana. Without hesitation, one should take the exclusive shelter of Lord Krishna with full confidence, giving up bad association and even neglecting the religious principles of the 4 varnas and 4 ashrams. That is to say, one should abandon all material attachment. When one is situated on such an exalted Paramahansa Vaishnava stage, then such a liberated soul no longer needs to go to Gayā and offer oblations to his forefathers, or to drink the water that has washed the feet of a Brahmana. In the Amala Praman, the spotless Vedic authority, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, in Canto 11, Chapter 11, verse 32, it is stated. This is a very important verse. Agayaivan gunandoshan mayadishtan api svakan dharmam santyajaya sarvan mam bhajeta susattamaha. Such a person perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possess favorable qualities that purify the performer, and he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's own life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and he worships me alone. He is thus considered to be the best among all living entities. And in the Bhagavad Gita 1866, it is stated, Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. If one discusses the above two verses, then he will gradually become indifferent to material activities and the search for impersonal Brahman. Although the Lord is the maintainer of everyone, the protector of Sanatana Dharma, and he is also the knower of religious principles, still the Lord exhibited the pastime of following the principles of an inferior platform in order to eternally benefit the living entities. One should not misunderstand, however, that the spiritual progress of the living entities is dependent simply on such inferior conceptions, or niyamagraha, simply imitating without effect. From the spiritual point of view, the gradual advancement or leads of the devotional path has been properly described Sorry, I need to stand up. But from the spiritual point of view, the gradual advancement or levels of the devotional path have been properly described by Sri Ramananda Rai, who is a Mahabhagavat spiritual master. He is a Mahabhagavat spiritual master of the Paramahamsas. So that's described by Ramananda Rai while replying to Sri Gaurasundar's inquiries. The Bhagavad Gita, which is instructed to Arjuna by Lord Gaurasundar in his pastimes of Krishna, that Gaurasundar also instructs Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga to conditioned souls situated within apara prakriti, material nature, after carefully considering their respective consciousness. And after fully rejoicing in their behavior, it establishes the supremely pure religion of devotional service as the topmost means for achieving the goal of life. After hearing this most confidential instruction, narrow-minded persons consider that engagement in devotional service and engagement in sinful activities based on their narrow-mindedness are equal. Although such considerations are full of ignorance and suitable for unsuccessful yogis, according to Bhagavad Gita 3.26, so as to not disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to work. So according to that Bhagavad Gita statement, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Those who have strong material conceptions are those who make the mistake of considering transcendental subject matters through their material faculties, and who thus consider transcendental subjects with a profound sense of the... I started dreaming. Sorry guys. Oh God, okay, that's it. Finally standing up. One second. There. Okay. So that was a long sentence also. Okay. Oh my God, that's a super long sentence. Let me try, sorry guys, you're very patient with me. Let me try to reread this. So although such considerations are full of ignorance and suitable for unsuccessful yogis, according to Bhagavad Gita, which states, so as to not disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. So according to that statement, those who have strong material conceptions are those who make the mistake of considering transcendental subject matters through their material faculties, and who thus consider transcendental subjects a product of the material world, should, after considering their own narrow-mindedness, forgive the devotees. Okay. Ye yata mam prapadyante tang stataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manusya partha sarvasha. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Gaudiya Bhashya. And this is from Sridhar Swami's Subodhini commentary. Gaudiya Bhashya. Lord Sri Krishna, using Arjuna as an audience, is herein refuting the arguments of opponents who may say, isn't the propensity for discrimination also present in you? You award devotional service only to those who surrender unto you. But do you award to one who is full of material desires? But I'm speaking this verse in reply. Krishna says, the word yatha indicates those who worship me either with material desires or without material desires. The word yatha indicates those who worship me either with material desires or without material desires, whom I simply reward accordingly. I give them the fruits according to their worship. In other words, I bestow mercy on them, but I do not neglect even those ambitious persons who reject me with the desire to enjoy the fruits of karma, and who worship various demigods headed by Indra. This should be considered. The reason is that the servants of various demigods, like Indra, they indirectly follow my path of worship, because I alone am worshipped even through the worship of Indra. Sridhar Swami's Subodhini commentary. Okay, we're ending with this verse, and it has a very long commentary. Je tahana dasya pada bhave nirantar, tahana avashya dasya koren ishwar. The Lord desires to be the servant of anyone who always desires to be a servant of the Lord. And the rest of our reading today will be just this commentary. So the Lord desires to be the servant of anyone who always desires to be a servant of the Lord. And I'm just reading this translation. The Lord is therefore known as, the next verse, the Lord is therefore known as Sevak Vatsal, or he who is favorably inclined to his servants. He accepts defeat in order to increase his devotees' glories. The devotees have only the Lord as their protector. Therefore, how can they give up his lotus feet? After being cured of his fever in this way, the Lord and his students came to the bank of the holy river, of the holy Punpuna river. After taking bath and offering oblations to his forefathers, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata entered Gayā. Okay, so that's what we'll be reading starting tomorrow. Okay, so let's read this commentary on the Lord desires to be a servant of anyone who always desires to be a servant of the Lord. Okay. Gaudiya Bhashya. There is no possibility of achieving pure devotional service by either karma or gyan. Haribol Vidyalala Sadidi. It's been a while. Okay, so there's no possibility of achieving pure devotional service either by karma or gyan. Considering the qualification of those who cannot or do not desire to surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, for them, the Lord has inaugurated the process of karma and gyan in this world. The conditioned souls wander throughout the universe while following karma and gyan. It is generally found that such persons have no qualification for achieving devotional service to the Lord. But when the desires for material enjoyment or liberation of persons who are on the platform of devotional service mixed respectively with karma or gyan, so when the desires for material enjoyment or liberation of persons who are on the platform of devotional service mixed respectively with karma or gyan, when they are gradually uprooted, then by the influence of pure devotional service, they can attain eternal supreme auspiciousness. Without surrender, neither the karmis nor the gyanis are qualified for the service of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord are constantly endeavoring to achieve the eternally relishable service of the Lord. They are never prepared to serve any temporary, mundane, enjoyable objects that is not related to the Lord. The Lord awards one the qualification to serve him according to one's service attitude. One should not misunderstand from this that the conditioned souls may treat the Supreme Lord as a servant or independently subjugate him by considering him a controlled instrument for fulfilling one's illicit desires, and expect that the Lord will serve such an atheist as a so-called servant. Rather, one must remember that in order to encourage the demoniac propensity of being completely controlled by the mundane fruitive activities of living entities averse to the Lord from time immemorial, in other words, in order to deceive and bewilder the godless living entities, the Lord has engaged his external energy, Maya, on the pretext of facilitating such living entities. Due to illusion, the conditioned soul accepts the illusory energy of the Lord as an object of enjoyment, as dear, as related to him, and as worshipable, and he thus embraces misconceptions about the absolute truth. And in this way, rather than worshipping the Lord, he becomes intoxicated with the desire to enjoy the fruits of his karma. If one engages in the uninterrupted and unmotivated devotional service of the Supreme Lord, who is eternally worshipable, and who is the proprietor of Maya, and who is beyond the reach of material perception, then such a fortunate living entity no longer maintains the propensity or desire for serving temporary, separated material objects. Then, on the pretext of accepting service from his unalloyed devotee, the Lord also serves his own devotee. The Lord himself serves his own devotee. Lord Śrī Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of drinking the water that had washed the feet of a Brahmana in order to teach and glorify the propensity for serving the Lord of Brahmanas. So Lord Gaurasundar enacted the pastime of drinking the water that would wash the feet of a Brahman in order to teach and glorify the propensity for serving the Lord of Brahmanas, who have given up temporary, abominable material pride, and who have become Trinada Pisunich and Toror Apisohishnuna, and who have accepted the transcendental water that has washed the lotus feet of the eternal Lord Śrī Caitanya-chandra as the only drinkable substance in the entire creation. Being bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, the Smartas and the Prakrit Sahajas who are averse to the Lord and who are baffled by Maya, they consider that pure Brahmanas under the shelter of the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya and demoniac Brahmanas who are averse to Hari, Guru and Vaishnav and opposed to Śrī Caitanya, they consider those two types of Brahmanas, the devotee Brahmana and the demoniac so-called Brahmana, they consider them to be equal. In other words, they consider that so-called Brahmanas who are actually Kripanas, who are misers, who are travelers on the path to hell, absorbed in illusory activities not related to the Lord, and who are devoid of spiritual knowledge regarding the inexhaustible, infallible Lord, and Brahmanas who are worshippers of the non-dual Lord, that they are of the same platform. But Śrī Gaurasundar displays the proper conclusion of the verse, Shvapakam iva neksheta loke vipram avaishnavam. If a person born in a Brahmana family is an avaishnav, a non-devotee, one should not see his face, exactly as one should not look upon the face of a chandal or a dog eater. So, wow, that's a long sentence. Oh my God. Let's just see how long this sentence is. Where does it begin? Oh, there. Okay, so... Okay. So, oh God, I didn't get the flow. So, and as a bona fide spiritual master, the Lord brings eternal auspiciousness to those Prakrit Sahajas and Smartas by opening their eyes, which are covered by the darkness of ignorance. Okay. Like that was all one sentence. It's a 183-word sentence. While distorting the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 11, which is Gayā tamam prapadyate tang sadaiva bhajamyaham, which we just read previously, persons who do not follow Vedic principles, who commit mistakes, and who are duplicitous, intoxicated, short-sighted, habituated to cheating others, and who are experts in material knowledge, they exhibit a type of foolishness that simply results in distortion and change of the actual meaning. They are indifferent to understanding the meaning of the word prapanna, or surrender, and they consider proud non-Vaishnav living entities who are devoid of surrender they consider those non-Vaishnav living entities who are devoid of surrender on the same platform as surrendered Vaishnavas. They are fully engaged in activities that are detrimental to the neophytes of this world who are ignorant of spiritual conclusions. In other words, they ruin them. Only those devotees who are non-duplicious, who are surrendered worshippers of the Lord, they are qualified to serve the Lord. And the Lord also reciprocates by awarding his own rare, loving devotional service to such liberated souls. The Lord never reciprocates with deceitful, non-devoted persons who desire liberation. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam 5.6.18 it is stated, Astvainam anga bhagavan bhadatam mukundo muktim dadati karhichit smadna bhakti yogam. Sorry, I didn't do the proper meter. Therefore, O king, those engaged in getting the Lord's favor, they attain liberation from the Lord very easily. But he does not easily give the opportunity to render direct service unto him. So they'll attain liberation, but the Lord does not give service to himself. Maya, as the Lord's maidservant, bewilders the averse living entities into accepting the Supreme Lord as a product of matter, while in fact, she is further increasing the averse living entities' entanglement in the material modes of nature. 5 types of devotional rasas are exchanged between the devotees and the worshipable Lord, who is beyond the perception of material senses and who is the only Vishai, the only object of all rasas. The Lord, as the Vishai, can favorably accept any one of 5 types of rasas. In his form of Narayan, the Lord accepts 2.5 types of rasas. That is, he accepts Shanta, neutrality, and Dasya, servitorship, and Gaurav Sakhya, friendship and awe and reverence, awe and veneration, from his devotees on the path of regulated devotional service. Okay, so in the form of Narayan, he accepts 2.5 types of rasas, Shanta, Dasya, and Gaurav Sakhya. And as Vrajendrananda and Krishna, he accepts the other 2.5 superior rasas, that is, Vishramba Sakhya, friendship in equality, intimate friendship, Vatsalya, parental affection, and Madhur, conjugal affection, from devotees who are on the path of anurag, or attachment. In this way, he awards any one of the above-mentioned 5 rasas to his devotees on the path of attachment, and thus he exhibits his qualities of bhakta vatsalya, affection for his devotees, and bhakta premadhinatva, that's his quality of being controlled by the love of his devotees. Okay, so that's our reading for today. The Lord is therefore known as Sevak Vatsal, or he who is favorably inclined to his devotees, and he accepts defeat in order to increase his devotees' glories. The devotees have only the Lord as their protector. Therefore, how can they give up his lotus feet? They have nobody else. After being cured of his fever in this way, the Lord and his students came to the bank of the holy Punpuna river. Okay, so we'll read all about that tomorrow. The internet's really good. Oh, that's great. All right, sorry, as I mentioned, I only slept 3 hours, so I was having kind of a difficult time reading today. But I'll go to sleep early tonight. Yes, last night was somebody died nearby, and so then I went to the mat, brought garlands, we did lots of kirtan, and and then I had to do a bunch of things after that, and I ended up staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning and woke up at 4. So I'm just really out of it. All right, so we'll do Mahamantra, and if there's anything anybody wants to discuss, we can have that. All right. Hare Krishna. Let's sing the song that I was thinking of, Thakur Vaishnava Pada. In the beginning, we also sang about Vaishnavas. I wasn't even thinking about that, but we sang Tarpan Mor Vaishnavera Nam Vaishnavera uchishta tahi mor manonishta. Tarpan mor Vaishnavera nam. Let me share my screen again. So it was actually a pretty appropriate song, even though I didn't think that we're singing an appropriate song. Okay. Where is it? Vaishnava Charana Jal. There. Okay. Thakur Vaishnava Par Vaishnavanartham Das Thakur. Hey, what happened? The lotus feet of the venerable Vaishnavas are the greatest treasure in the world. O brother, please listen with rapt attention. Krishna never forsakes one who, having taken shelter of the Vaishnavas, lovingly worships him. All others perish without purpose. There is nothing more powerful than the water that has washed the feet of the lotus feet of a Vaishnav to give the strength to attain prema bhakti. And there is no greater ornament than the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnav to serve as the ornament for one's head. The purifying qualities of water from holy places are written in the Puranas. But all this cheats one of the wealth of bhakti. Actually, the water from holy places is not as purifying as water that has washed the feet of Vaishnavas, by which one's desires are fulfilled. The heart feels joyful at every moment in the company of Vaishnavas, where topics of Krishna are always discussed. With a restless heart, Narottam Das Thakur cries, "Why have I been torn from their association?" Okay. Thakur. Well, I'm just going to sing this through, so we could sing it all together. Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada Shuno Bhai Hoya Ekaman Ashraya Loya Bhaje Tare Krishna Nahi Tyaje Ar Saba More Akaran Ar Sab More Akaran Shuno Vaishnava Charana Jal Prema Bhakti Dite Bal Har ke hona he balavanta Vaishnava Charana Reno Mastake Bhushana Bino Ar nahi Bhushanera Anta Ar ke hona he balavanta Tirtha jal pavitra gune likhi ache purane shesha bhaktir pravanchana Vaishnavera padodaka samana he sab Vaishnavera padodaka samana he sab jate hoy vanchita purana jate hoy vanchita puran jate hoy vanchita puran Vaishnava sangete man anandita yanukhan sada hoy Krishna parasanga Narottama Kande Iya Dharja nahi bande, dina narottama kande, hiya dharja nahi bande, mor dasha keno hoilo bhanga, mor dasha keno hoilo bhanga. Thakura Vaishnava pada avanira susampada, shuno bhai hoya ekamana, ashaya daya bhaje, tare Krishna nahi tyaje, harsava more akarana, harsava more akaran. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari, Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari, Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Kishore, would you like to do Jaidwani?
Jai Suprikar Shishi Guru Gauranga Gan Harviga Gidit Hari Rar Vinor Vihari Rar Nainath Radharman Vihari Rar Marva Shishi Rar Kanj Jeev Ki Jai. Jai Sri Govind Gopinath Manan Mahan Jeev Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramaham Sabri Vrajagachari Varya Astodrashta Shishman Bhakti Vigyan Bharit Goswami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Paramaham Sabri Vrajagachari Varya Astodrashta Shishman Bhakti Vedanta Shala Narayan Goswami Maharaj Parit Pavan Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman Bhakti Balab Tirtha Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman Bhakti Vedanta Vikram Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman Bhakti Vedanta Shravamman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Jagur Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman Bhakti Dvaita Madhu Goswami Param Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Param Guru Devachari Keshari Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Stodrashta Shishman Jagur Guru Shri Varashabhana Vidaita Das Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Saprikar Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Sarant Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Mahaparam Bhagavad Paravar Paramahamsa Shishimad Gaur Kishore Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai. Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Saptam Goswami Ashtotarshta Shishimad Sachidanand Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashaya Ki Jai. Jai Natya Leela Pravishtam Vishnupar Vaishnav Sarvam Ashtotarshta Shishimad Jagannath Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Gandavasi Siddha Shramad Sundas Babji Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Urvaras Uttaran Das Ki Jai. Gurvinan Acharya Shishil Valide Vibhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Mahamohabadidhyaya Rasika Shiromani Shishila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Par Ki Jai. Shila Rasikanand Marari Dev Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Ramachandra Kaviraj Ki Jai. Sri Lo Chandas Thakur Ki Jai. Shila Narottam Das Thakur Mahashaya Srinivasacharya Shyamananda Pandit Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. यस अवतार अर्का विशद वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री अष्टकविराज सुरजान नित्यानंद दोष गोपाल श्री चौषति महंत की जय। जय श्री रूप श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट रास रघुनाथ सर्गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर यनमानंद लोकनाथ गर्भ अति गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शिल ईश्वर परिपाद की जय। शिल मारविंद्र परिपाद की जय। श्री अंडरदीप मायपुर सिमंदीप गोद्रुमदीप मध्यदीप कलदीप ऋतुदीप जानदीप मातृद्रमादीप रुद्रादीप मात्मक श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शांतिपुर धाम की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम श्री गौर चंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ गोपी गोपा गो गिरि गोपीनाथ षडवनाथ अन्माक श्री ब्रज मंडल धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंग सखी आमन सखी तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जय। वृंदावनेश्वरी ब्रजेश्वरी वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। जय श्रीमती राधा रानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाखा चित्रा चंपकलता तुंग विद्या इंदुलेख रंगरेवी सूरेवी अरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री अनंग प्रेम मंजलाजी श्री रूप लवंग रागा विलस गुणरति कस्तूरी हरि मांजारी वृंद की जय। श्री कमल मंजरी की जय। श्री नयन मणि मंजरी की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमासी युगमाय देवी की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर सरशिव महादेव की जय। राधा परंकित धाम श्री वृंदावन की जय। श्री जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमारव की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ पुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय। सर्वा विघ्नामिन शंकरी भक्त विघ्ना विनाश श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। भक्तराज भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री प्रहलाद लक्ष्मीन्द्र सिंह देव की जय। श्री चरिधाम चरि संप्रदाय चरि आचार्य की जय। श्री गाय धाम की जय। श्री मध्वा रमनोजा विष्णु स्वामी नंबदित्याचार्य की जय। आकर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य माद की जय। श्री गौरी माद वृंद की जय। ग्रंथरा श्रीमाद भगवताम भगवत गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भगवत जैव धर्म आदि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय। नामचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन युग धर्म की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलियुग ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। महामंत्र की जय। श्री आनंद पुरी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री समगत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री चैतन्य भगवान की जय। शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल प्रभुपाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय। श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु श्रावोतुदाय की जय। श्री गाय धाम की जय। श्री गायसुर की जय। श्री भगवत विष्णु बुद्ध भगवान की जय। श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री चतुर्भुज मधुसूदन नारायण की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्री वैष्णव चरितामृत की जय।
जय हो। वैष्णव पादुदाक वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवाय कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Dandavat pranams Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji and Kishore Prabhu and Shubhananda Prabhu. And let's see, on YouTube and Facebook, who is there? Sudevi Didi, Govinda Saha, Vidya Lalasa Didi. Oh, you weren't feeling well last week, huh? Yeah, I was wondering where you were. Oh, but okay, I hope you get better soon. Yeah. All right. All right. So, anybody have anything on their mind that they wanna
I have
from
a
today's reading?
question. It's kind of a philosophical question. Why does Bhagavan put the atheist bewilder the atheists?
Why does he what?
Bewilder the atheist.
I don't know. That's a
I
good
guess
question.
I guess for Leela. I guess
I mean, also it's like we just read that verse, Yaya tamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyaham mamavartmanu vartman, right? So, um, however you approach Bhagavan, he'll deal like however you deal with Bhagavan, he's going to deal with you in the same way. So, if you're disregarding Bhagavan and you're ignoring him, then he's going to, and similarly, he's equal. He deals with everybody equally, and
oh, that
so
makes sense.
yeah. He deals with everybody equally, but with the devotees, he has bhakta vatsalya, and he's partial to his devotees. So he's impartial except when it comes to his devotees. Yeah.
Yeah, what's that verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that I'm impartial, that I'm impartial, but one who's a friend, and in me I'm a friend in them, something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yes. So, yes, Jai Ho. All right. So, see you all tomorrow. I need to prepare. I don't even know what the topic is tomorrow. Um, but yeah, the Lord in Gayā, his pastimes in Gayā, and yeah, Jai Shri Radhe. See you all tomorrow.
Was How was
Yes.
yesterday? How was yesterday? How was the good part with Kirtan?
Oh, like with the person passing away?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so there's just actually right past those trees right there. Um, right behind that, there's a house, and there's a lady there. She's very old, and she hasn't eaten or drink. She hasn't drunk water or eaten for 1.5 months. And so the people from that house, they came here and they told us that, our mother, she hasn't drunk or eat anything for 1.5 months. Could you do some kirtan? And so then we went there and we did kirtan. And then the next day, she left. I mean, last night. And so then I got some garlands from Keshavji Gaudiya Math. We put it around her, the garlands around her. I got Radharani's garland and somebody else's, I don't know who it was, but like on our altar. and then we did kirtan for a while, for a good amount of time. And then they brought her to the Ganga in the middle of the night. I actually, this morning at 4 o'clock, I saw everybody coming back from the Ganga, and it was like pouring rain, and like everybody was coming back from the Ganga after the whole cremation. It started raining after they cremated her, though, thankfully. But yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
they do it really quick here though, because it was kind of late last night that she passed away, and then right after she passed away, they cried a bit and brought her to the Ganga. We're in a very convenient place. The Ganga is just like a 3-minute walk away from here. So yeah, it was nice.
Nice. So you guys did Harinam Sankirtan and then she passed away later? And then
Yeah, one
more
day
Harinam
later.
Sankirtan? Nice.
Yes. Yeah, she had it. And in Navadvip Dham, she had a very auspicious leaving. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. There was one sick lady. Yeah, there was one devotee and his mother was sick, so he approached Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Samaraj, saying asking like, can you read the Shrimad Bhagavatam for her? And my Param Guru Maharaj said, sure, or I can do that, but some Param Guru Maharaj got busy doing something, and so he sent my Guru Maharaj to do it. And Guru Maharaj was thinking, what purity is going to come from me? And Param Guru Maharaj said, don't worry, Shrimad Bhagavatam is powerful. It's always powerful. You go to Maharaj read Śrīmad-bhāgavatam to the lady, and then she passed away that same day.
Wow. Amazing. Fortunate lady. Yes. Hari Bol Manmohan Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Niri Hari
Okay.
Prabhu. Hey, Niri Hari Prabhu, do you have any comments to my question of why does Bhagavan bewilder people?
Sorry, I was getting ready to go to a doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Convalescing, but yeah, one other thing is that even the appearance of Lord Shiva as Shankaracharya to bewilder the atheists and the demons away from the path of devotional service, that is so powerful. So not to get bothered. That was one of the things I felt about it. And ultimately, the Lord fulfills all desires, doesn't he? So there's materialistic people, the atheists, they want to have the control of the material world, be the masters of everything. So it lets them play that way, and it puts them on the illusory energy. I don't know if this, sorry, because I'm not feeling too well. I can't
No, that was a very good point. Yeah.
remember things.
I'm very happy with the answer.
Oh, good, Prabhu. But I see my shortcuts here. And in questions of knowledge, you are so much more knowledgeable than I am.
No. Definitely not.
That's your humility, Prabhu. All right, so we'll let you get ready for going to the doctor now, and I hope that all goes well.
Thank you.
I hope you're I hope you're starting to. Are you starting to get better now, or are you kind of just in the middle of it? Or...
It's been kind of, it feels like in the middle of it. It was an operation and very, very painful even last night. So I had to take Advil, and it's very powerful, but it makes me very nauseous and dizzy. And I was supposed to, this is the 7th day that I'm supposed to go see the doctor, see how it went. And then they said they will give me some further medicine. So yeah, I got a little bit better, but not totally better. I've been like kind of bedridden. Anyhow, I don't want to go in details of my body. And
I hope you get back to 100% very soon. And also Vidya Lala Sadini, she's also feeling sick. So I hope both of you get better soon.
Thank you. I hope she feels better. Thank you for the readings, Prabhu. And the appropriate questions. But Rini says thank you.
Hare Krishna. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Hare Bol. All right. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.
See you tomorrow.